I forgot to pop it out. I joined because I just love being in a team where everybody kind of has the same likes and differences, because we all kind of are nerdy and like to game and have fun.
I believe in STEM. I think it's great for kids. It's hands-on. It teaches them how to problem solve.
I want to be a robotics engineer when I grow up, and I feel like this will give me a good thing to put on my college application, and B, will give me a good jump start on programming and building robots.
Grade physics teacher and web developer, I find it startling how we're teaching our kids in much the same way we did 100 years ago. One day I was talking with one of my students and thought, what if being in class was like taking part in an adventure? That's when the idea for Classquest was born. I started to build an online role-playing game for my class using real-world risks and rewards. With only a laptop and a projector, students play in teams of mages, warriors, and healers, each with unique powers. The more they excel in class, not only academically, but also in supporting fellow students' learning, the more they gain points and unlock real powers like eating in class or bringing their notes to an exam. If they do poorly, are disruptive, or bully others, they lose points, penalize their team, and could even suffer real consequences like detention or less time to finish an assignment. Over the past 3 years, I've been playing and refining this game with my students, and the results have been staggering. Acting as a layer on top of my normal lesson plans, Classcraft hasn't changed what I'm teaching. It has radically transformed my students' relationship with the content and with each other. By using a game, something students naturally gravitate to, I've seen engagement in my classes skyrocket, and it's even played a big role in helping some students that were failing come back from the brink. Classcraft creates a dynamic learning environment where students look forward to their classes. Transforming their motivation transforms their education. Classcraft is more than a game. Join us in this adventure and let's bring education into the 21st century.
Welcome everybody to Ladies of the Roundtable, LORT Live. We are here, the three of us, right? The three ladies, three stooges, I don't know what to call us. Three amigos?
Yeah, I claim Larry.
Amigas. With our guest, Sean Young.
Hi.
And of course, the usual suspects, Pixie. I'm gonna go this way this time. And Miss Page 6. I'm just gonna go like that. I don't know where you are, but that's where you're gonna be.
I'm top left. I don't know
top
where
left,
I am
all
today.
right. And your hostess with not the mostest, Shrivasta. Ian is back there doing his thing. Producer Ian, thank you so much for riding with us shotgun on the wrong side of the road, because tonight it's just going to be a little bit of a mess. We're going to run amok in the kingdom, right, guys? We're just going to do what we want. So tonight's show, if you've looked at the title up there, is Education of the Gamer. What do we mean by that? Well, we're going to be talking about educational gaming. Boy, those two words really go well together, I think. What do you think, Pixie?
I agree.
What about you, Paige?
Definitely.
Definitely. And Sean, what about you?
I think they go more and more well together, and it's becoming more and more of a mainstream idea, actually.
So, for those of you who have no idea who this bearded man is sitting with us, and I think beards are the thing for this month, right? We keep having all these guys with these beards, right?
It's final hockey season.
I have to say I've had this beard for 12 years, though.
12 years.
Unshaven. Yeah, that's right.
You must really want your team to win.
Guys out there, right?
They never win, right? So I just wear it.
Oh, and as you guys notice, Nikki and Kim are not with us, but their standard cupcakes are in their place. So, hey, take it and do what you want with it. Those cupcakes look delicious, by the way, Ian. Bake those fresh every Friday. So Sean is the founder, the brainchild behind Classcraft. For those of you who have no idea what that is, we're going to let Sean talk a little bit about Classcraft, fill you in on his dream come true, and reason why he has decided to start this educational quest, combining the two loves that you have, gaming and education. So, Sean, take it away.
Okay, so hi, thanks for having me. I'll just tell you a bit about what Classcraft is, and then maybe we can talk about how it came to be. So Classcraft is a platform that transforms any classroom into a giant role-playing game. So we basically reverse engineered how video games work and decided to apply that to the classroom and use the different pieces that make video games fun and addictive and try and make classrooms fun and addictive. So basically the premise is that kids play in teams of warriors, healers, and mages. So it's modeled after typical MMO teams. So there's the tank class, there's a support class, and there's a DPS class. And basically the point of the game for the kids is to gain amazing powers. So imagine you're 14 or 15, and all of a sudden you have the power to hand in an assignment a day late, or get a hint during an exam, or eat in class. So as you level up, you unlock skills in these skills trees that are different for each class, and they're real life powers. So teachers can put whatever they want, but the idea is to give kids real life benefits. And the way they get those is by leveling up, and they level up by getting XP for good behavior, so helping each other out, making sure their teammates do well. So they play as a team all year, and they can also lose hit points for bad behavior. So things like handing in homework late or arriving late to class. And then if you fall in battle in the game, You can, get real life punishments. So real life powers with real life punishments. So things like detention or having to recite a poem in front of the class, that kind of stuff. And then on top of that, your whole team loses hit points. So yeah, so I mean, there's a lot there. Every class is a random event, so you never know what's going to happen when you come to class. These events are, there's like 100 pre-populated, but teachers are making their own and they're being really creative. So things like everybody has to talk like a pirate for the day, or everybody has to do a wall sit competition and the winners get points. So the idea is to use the elements that make games really fun and distill them and bring them into the classroom to drive internal motivation. One of the things that's really challenging for educators today is that it's what's the point of coming to class if you can learn everything you need to learn on Wikipedia? So how do you make kids want to come to class? And Classcraft is not the only answer, but definitely an answer to that. And so I guess just a bit of my background. I've been teaching for 10 years, but I was also a freelance web developer during that period. And so I had the idea for Classcraft like 4 years ago, and then I just made it for myself. Really crappy version compared to what's out there now, but it worked. And I just played with that for like 3 years with my students, applied patches as we went, tweaking the rules and stuff. And then made a little website to talk about it, and 150,000 people came to the website on the first day, and it just started going like viral all over Reddit and stuff. And then we got press, and then I was getting like 50 emails a day saying, "How can I play this? Where can I get it?" And obviously people couldn't. It didn't exist as a product, and so that's when I sat down with my co-founder and brother Devin, who's the guy behind all the graphics and awesome design. He's a designer, and then we sat about making it. And now, we launched in September, and now it's in almost 4,000 classrooms. We're in 75 countries, so it's hundreds of thousands of people are playing this. We even have little kids now doing cosplay of our characters,
Cool.
spontaneously coming to school dressed up as fire mages and stuff. So yeah, it's really cute.
So for everyone who has now picked their jaw up off the floor and thought how awesome this could be, going to school and having this type of hands-on education combined with the things that you enjoy, where can teachers go to take a look at the sample curriculum to see if this may be something that they could present to their educational system? Because I know that this isn't something you can just say, I'm going to take it to school one day and I'm now going to start using it. It doesn't really work that way at least in the United States, as far as your educational system. This is something that has to be approved by your school board. So how does that transition work? If I'm an educator and I want to say, this is something that's for me that I know could work with my kids.
Well, actually, that's actually exactly how it's working. Is people are finding out about it online, and they're just going to class and starting it, because the game is about behavior. It's not about content. So you're right in saying that the U.S. system in regards to standards and what are the core standards and what are you supposed to teach is very rigid. But the way you teach that is your own professional liberty. And Classcraft isn't about content. There's no content in the game at all. It's just about making coming to class a space that's open to play. And what from there stems, motivation, participation, collaboration. Classroom management is so much easier because the way you do well in the game is through good behavior. So so it's actually just been really like a grassroots type of thing. Teachers find out about it online. They find out about it, from their colleagues, and then they just overnight decide they want to start it, and they do. And it's free. There's a free version. So there's also a paid version, but the free version teachers just can get started, and then it's the paid version is $1 per student. So teachers are actually paying out of pocket to start Classcraft in their classes. So it's actually a really simple process. Just go to classcraft.com and they can just create an account.
So I have a couple of questions for you. Obviously, this is a tool that you used in your own classroom. Did you notice an uptick in your students' performance?
Yeah, for sure. I I teach physics, grade 11, so my students were already like doing okay, but we've had a lot of feedback in that sense from all the teachers using it. So we did a little survey to our users maybe a couple months ago, and 85% of them said that the grades of their students had went up. And anecdotally, we've had teachers saying they've had students go from an F to a B average just because they're so motivated. Now they won't work for a grade, but they'll work for XP. And then that kind of what follows there is that they actually did the work and they're actually doing better on exams. So yeah.
And then obviously with people having different learning styles, how do you think that this plays into that?
Well, that's an interesting question. I think that as teachers, what we want to do is foster behaviors in our students that make them better learners. So participating well, being curious, asking questions, helping other students, and I think that regardless of what your learning style is, there's some like universal behaviors that lead to better learning, and being more engaged and being more motivated. I mean, if you want to be there, half the work is done already. So I think that as we foster internal motivation and we make kids more engaged about coming to school, we'll see that they can then learn in their own specific way within that frame. But I mean, we have teachers using it in Detroit where 80% of their kids live in cars. They have no address, so just getting them to come to class was really difficult. And now that they started using Classcraft, attendance is almost perfect because kids, they want to see what the random event's going to be. They also have a support system now. They have a team backing them up when they come to class, so that really transforms the social dynamics there.
Actually, my question was going to be about the social dynamics. Have you noticed that the children are getting along better with each other now that? Like
it's been amazing actually. To me, that's one of my values as an educator is to have kids collaborate. I find that coming to school is a social experience, and systemically we make it an individualistic experience. Through it's your own grades, it's your own behavior, and so what we've seen is that we have teachers are making teams that are cross gender, cross racial, cross economic class. So you'll have kids that would never have spoken to each other. All of a sudden they're on the same team and they're helping out each other after homework. They're cheering each other on. So we regularly get feedback from kids on our Facebook page saying, hi, I'm in grade 5. I was really shy before, but now that because of Classcraft, my team supports me and I'm not shy anymore, and it's really changed my life. So it's, to me, I was a really shy kid. I had a tough time in school. I was a geek, and for me to see that from other kids and seeing how positive an effect it's having on their social lives, it's really rewarding.
That's
we have
awesome.
chat questions?
We do. So our question is the game designed to test students, or is it mainly designed to challenge them to learn?
It's both of those things. I mean, it's not really built to test in the sense that there's no like questions, there's no like math questions or anything. There's absolutely no content in the game. It's really about behavior, but in that sense, what is learning other than applying certain behaviors that make you conduce you to learning things. So in that sense, the game challenges you to learn because you have to do certain behaviors that are expected of you, and then I would say more it challenges them to learn, but I really think that the game is about fostering collaboration. To see these kids helping each other spontaneously with their homework and participating in a really stronger way is really the uptake here.
That's
So-
awesome.
You okay over there, Paige?
I love this. I really do.
I do
think that this is
too.
fantastic.
We
Yeah.
obviously at the table believe that gamification of education is an awesome tool, and we think that it's a great hands-on experience for kids. We as gamers have games in our house. Me as a parent, Paige as a parent, are passing that down to our kids to be everyday part of their life and not have the stigma attached to it as we did as growing up as adults. So there are some people out there that say that there's little proof that these types of things are raising test scores or broadening the cognitive development of kids today. And what do you say to people who are the naysayers and have statements like that?
I say they're right. I think that, and that's kind of paradoxical, right? I think they're right that, the experiences we've had so far in terms of like gamification in general, a lot of them have proven to be detrimental. One example is, the game Spore. I don't know if you know that game, but
Yes.
it's this evolution game where you start off as a bacteria and you become, a multi-cell organism, and then you become eventually a civilization. And they were using that to teach evolution to kids. And then after testing them, they actually realized that it was teaching them creationism, because what they learned was that there was an intelligent being controlling evolution themselves, and then because it was an experience, it was really hard to unlearn that. So I think that if the game is badly designed, then you'll actually get the opposite effect. And so it's true that because games are such a powerful medium, they're so engaging. You're doing something. You're not just reading things. You have to be really careful of what kind of tool that is. On the other hand, I think that well-designed games are amazing. I look at Classcraft. Classcraft is a special beast in the sense that it's not about. So there's different things you can do to gamify. One of them is to gamify content. So, we all played games like Math Blasters and stuff growing up as a kid. The thing with those games is that they're not that fun. They're, thinly veiled math equations that, I destroyed an asteroid, but it's not like you're not actually emotionally engaged with the game. So I think that as broadband and devices become ubiquitous in classes, we'll be able to see games that emotionally resonate with kids, and then all of a sudden we're in this space where they're actually having fun. And then I think that we're opening up the discussion to heightened motivation, and B, this idea that you can acquire complex systems, things you can't do on a worksheet. So yeah, I think there's like different things. Another thing that's coming in, this is a huge, like, those naysayers, I'll tell them also, like, the government is backing this. There was a summit for Games for Learning on Tuesday in New York. I presented there, and it was organized by the White House. And so we had 200 people. It was an invite-only thing, and it was people from game studios. So there was folks from Angry Birds, people from Ubisoft, people from EA. And then people from education, and then people from the administration of education, and people doing educational games. And there's a very it's very clear to most of the players in the field that there's a gaming revolution that's on the cusp of happening in education. And I think that the naysayers should read up. I think there's a lot of conducive evidence to show that there's well-designed games can actually really foster better learning.
I think Obama has really, everybody has a lot of opinions about our president, amongst other things to say about our president. But for me personally, he has taken some steps to push STEM education and blending those things that are in the forefront of our 21st century with this type of learning in mind, because of how our kids have been so connected with technology. I think he's very smart in the aspect of making sure that everyone understands that this isn't going anywhere. This is part of our everyday lives. And like you said, at that summit, there was a lot of people who are able to make change and progress what we've all been talking about here at the table, more so than maybe a big company like Intel could do by themselves, or Google. It's going to take all of us working together to show that this concept actually works and is engaging, versus what we've been doing in the past, which everyone has seen how our educational system, our scores have dropped. kids are less engaged. The college enrollment has dropped. Fields that the kids usually were going to, STEM education, you don't see kids doing that anymore. They're deciding to go work at Subway or a mediocre job because they don't see a future in technology, and they're not pushed towards that like they should be, in my opinion. What do you say, Paige?
I think that we don't necessarily have an effective way of teaching a broad group of learners. As we've talked about before, kids have all sorts of different learning abilities and limitations within a minute span. Some pretty complex equations, and then we have a lot of people who, even if the parent is home, they don't necessarily know how to teach the child or to reinforce what they're trying to learn. And tutors are expensive. And I have this issue at home with my daughter, where sometimes you meet the limitation where you don't know how to explain it, or you don't know yourself, and you need to be able to help your child to get them ahead. And I think that is a huge reason why a lot of people are not going into these fields. I think that it starts at a young age.
The incentive isn't there. There is not.
I think that they get frustrated because nobody knows how to teach a good what they're trying to learn. In the same way in math, technology fields, typically they're not going to emotionally grab you the way that something like English literature would, or the way that you express yourself through language and spelling and history and learning. Math is a language, and it's all about knowing how to teach people this language of logic. And you can learn Spanish one way, and some people will learn it another way. And I think that in a lot of ways, it's the same thing with these STEM fields and these core mathematics classes that you're introduced to at a young age.
Well, I happen to be a lucky parent. My kid loves the zeros and the ones. That was not me. I don't know where she gets that from. But you're right, when it comes to helping her with her education, I've learned math one way. My husband's learned math a different way because he's slightly younger, and then she's learning math a whole other way. So when we come home to help her with her homework, we're looking at each other like, which one of us is going to try to explain it? As long as she comes up with the correct answer, are we okay? And that is confusing, because are we teaching her the right way? Are we supporting that educator at school? We have to go and have the parent-teacher conference because we want them to explain it to us so that we can spit it back out at her to be correct. Go ahead, Pixie.
I think it's a combination of so many issues. I was an early childhood education major for a very long time. It's a combination of a lack of parental involvement. It's a combination of a system of poverty. It's a combination of underfunded education systems that punish educators for the failures of their students. When you cannot force a child to learn, you can only incentivize their learning. You can't make somebody learn. It's just a fact.
This idea of
happen.
backing up a teacher's merits with test numbers is absolutely just insanity. I don't let my daughter take the tests.
Go ahead, Sean. Since you're the educator and you're sitting in the classroom, and this is something that you see both sides, I'm sure.
Well, I was going to circle back to gaming. I think that some of what you ladies rather, are raising are some pretty valid points. And I think that when we talk about what's the right way to teach math to a kid, well, that's where games can be really interesting, because games can adapt to learners. And so one of the things that's very trendy right now in education is adaptive learning. So how do you how do you get two different kids through the same curriculum, but through different pathways? And anybody who's played a game like Skyrim or whatever knows that there's a million pathways to get through that game. And if learning was like that, then and that's where the promise of gaming for adaptive learning is that you if a player fails at a certain part of the game, then they can look at it from a different angle or try again. And there's failure in a game is learning. If anybody who's played a game like Dark Souls or Bloodborne knows that 100 times after you beat the boss, 100 times you've tried and now you finally learned, but you failed 100 times, and now finally you know all his moves and you can kill him. And so that's one part. And then you were talking about incentives earlier, and I think that's another aspect. And that's where something like Classcraft comes in, because we're able to give learners short-term goals. So when you're 10, the idea of getting a good grade in math so that you can eventually become a doctor or something is a very abstract thing. Whereas leveling up so that you can get a new pet in the game, and doing that this week, that's a real short-term attainable goal. And I have kids, I teach 17-year-olds, and I'll have this bearded guy, he's taller than I am, comes up to me at the beginning of class like, Sean, I need 5 GP today. I'm like, why? He's like, I'll do anything to get it because I want the bear helmet and I want it now. You're on the football team and you're 17, and they still get into it, There's something universal about that idea that you can get instant feedback, but also that you're in control of your destiny. And that's a real promise from games, is that idea that you have competency, that you can control your own outcome. And that's one of the reasons games are so motivating and addictive, because in real life we're actually pretty powerless a lot of the times, and we are as students too. How many students have worked so hard and they still continue to fail, and then they go home and they practice video games and they get better and better and better, and that's really motivating. So if we can bring in the gaming into education and make education this place where you can try and get better, in a fun space, in a space that's safe, in a space that that is about play, then all of a sudden that whole idea shifts, and we can kind of meet kids where they're at culturally too. I think that in the same way that VHS was a revolution in the classroom in the 70s, and people were saying, oh, kids are going to be stupid now because they're watching VHS in the classroom. And I think that now we're at that place with gaming where we're bringing in this this universal cultural meme from kids, and bring it into the classroom to meet them where they're at and engage with them on their level.
Well, and what I love about this is something that you said earlier, and it's that you divide it into teams, and they feed off each other and they help each other out. And what I find so interesting is people complain all the time about how disconnected we are from everyone because of technology. And it is this exact program that is bringing these people together.
That's true. And I mean, Classcraft is really different from a lot of games in education, because there isn't like a 3D game world. It's not like, so people are using Minecraft now in education, and that's really cool because it's like, a simulated environment where you can build whatever you want. But really, it's not in the classroom. What's cool about Classcraft is that the way you perform in the classroom and the game is by doing things in real life. And what you do in real life has an impact on the game. And that's really powerful, because all of a sudden it makes real life really interesting again.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the way that teachers can engage with the curriculum. And you say that it's up to the teacher to decide what those things are going to be. Do you have forums or a community section on your website so teachers can share those things and support each other? And talk to me about
thousands of messages there. We've thousands and thousands of teachers talking with each other on the forums. We have an ambassador group, so teachers who've been using Classcraft for a while and that have done really innovative things with it, and they kind of moderate for us in the forums and give people tips. And it's a really cool place where teachers go and they say, I invented this event, what do you think? And then teachers bounce ideas off of each other, and that's really cool, because part of we've been talking about the student side of Classcraft, but one of the things for educators is that our goal is to really empower them and make them rock stars, because all of a sudden they're really cool for their kids, and B, make classroom management so much easier, because typically, and this is, to me, this is really part of what's fascinating, is that as a teacher, you're in a classroom, you have this role of being a police, right? Where you have to enforce discipline and punish people, and when you use Classcraft, all of a sudden it's the game doing that, and all you're doing is being the dungeon master and applying game rules. And so I've had kids, because they fell in battle, they get detention. And typically when you give a kid detention, they're really angry at you, and then they're like, but with the game, they're like, no, it's cool. I should have, planned my things out better. My team, wasn't able to, pull together and save me. It's cool. And they go to detention with a huge smile, and so all of a sudden, and on top of that, they're themselves auto-regulating within their team. They'll be like, be quiet. We don't want to lose hit points. and so all of a sudden, like, that clears up this whole space where you can have really cool relationships with your kids, because now you're not this police, you're their friend, you're their game master, and it's like, just takes the relationship to a totally different place. And I think that's really also very empowering for teachers.
Well, I can say, from a parent of a child who is a true nerd, self-professed geek, who hates gym with a passion more than I can even explain right now at 13, I think her gym teacher needs to get some Classcraft to be able to incentivize these kids who do not want to do any type of sports or recreational activity, because they like, I'd rather read a book or do math than play dodgeball or volleyball. Because my kid complains every week. Gym day comes up and she would fake an illness, pull out every kind of excuse, and I keep saying, we all had gym, it's not going to kill you, I promise, it'll be okay. But if she had Classcraft where she could earn that XP, I bet every week she would be like, this is the new piece of gear I'm going to get, I'm going to do 5 more extra laps just to get that XP so that I can get whatever it is. I mean, I think that's an excellent idea, and me as a parent, I'd be really excited if it brought her out of her shell and made her want to play basketball or something,
Show it to her teachers. They can start using it. Gym teachers could use it. We have a mobile app, so they can just run it off of their phone.
That is
we have
so
an
awesome.
iOS and an Android app. Yeah.
That is awesome. Now, tell me what the differences between the free version and the paid version are for those who are interested.
Well, there's a middle version too. We also have a freemium version. So we're going, same route as big game studios. So basically, the free version is you get the game and no bells and whistles. So kids can't customize their characters. They don't get cool pets they can train. We have a learning management system in which teachers can put videos and content and stuff, and it's all gamified. So if kids watch the videos, they get points. We also have quests. We have the mobile apps. We have behavior reports. So because the way you get points is through behavior, you can drop a report card of how a student is doing in terms of behavior in regards to the class. So all those things aren't part of the free version, but they are part of the paid version, which is $1 a student. And then on top of that, in the paid version, the teacher can give out gold pieces. And kids, as they get gold pieces, can buy more and more gear and make their avatar look cooler and cooler as they level up. And we literally have thousands of pieces of gear that are, drawn by illustrators from the video game industry, to, make their characters look awesome. And kids get really into it because it's their digital identity. And every time the game is about them in class, it's them in big in front of the class with their really cool character.
Now, is the app able to go on the kids' phone as well, or is it just for the educator?
Yeah, no, kids can log in, and they can customize their characters, use their powers, that kind of stuff. And then the freemium version is free, so you get everything for free, except kids can buy coins. So the teacher can't give out coins, but kids can buy them through their iTunes account, and but it's capped at $5 over the lifetime of their account. They can never spend more than $5 because we don't want to, get into these like Smurfville, running away with the bank type of stuff. And on top of that, what they get with the coins is aesthetic. They can't pay to win. They can just pay to look cool. And even to look cool, I mean, they need to level up to get the awesomest looking gear. So basically, it just gives them more options in their wardrobe. So those are kind of the 3 tiers.
Man, it sounds amazing. I mean, if I couldn't even have thought this up if I was a kid in class and this is what my teacher presented to me, I would have been a straight A student.
I just tell you, I might not have failed trigonometry twice.
Right? I mean, I might not have took general math twice, okay? Trigonometry, hell, I took general math twice. I was like, I can't go any further. I'm done. I'm capped out here.
Well, yeah, and I think we're getting that a lot. It's really cool to see how it's really transforming a lot of people's lives, and to me, as an educator, that's just what's really rewarding. I think that when I made this, I had a really clear vision of what I was making, and then I used it and it worked really well. But I was kind of, you never know, right? Does it work because I'm a cool teacher, or will it work for others?
Me, Sean says.
Yeah, no, but it's true. Like, is it? And then it's really satisfying to see that it's actually a system that's working for thousands of people, all over the country, all over the world, actually. So yeah, it's been very rewarding in that sense.
Well, my last question is there a chance that Classcraft may morph over into something that could do with parenting? So if I wanted my kid to clean her room, clean it to my capacity, I could do that already?
We have a lot of
teachers. Shut
teachers.
the front door.
I swear to God, a lot of teachers, they started out in class and like, I'm going to use this with my kids, and they use a free account, and you can change the powers, right? You can put whatever you want. So instead of handing in homework a day early, it's like half an hour of Xbox or whatever.
Oh, it's on and then now.
It's all we have a lot of teachers
downloading right now.
It's interesting because this whole idea is actually we're doing a pilot in there's a Fortune 500 company that approached us and they wanted to gamify their staff. So we're actually using Classcraft to gamify their call center. And the powers are things like you get to leave a half an hour early on Friday and that kind of stuff.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was thinking that you could put this concept to work for a lot of different things, because
I was just wondering, like, where does the social aspect come in with the home stuff?
The social aspect for me, if you want to say for my house, would be to compete. Yeah. My husband and my daughter compete against each other for gear and things, because we're a house full of gamers, and then that goes the same thing for me, because there's things that I am a little lacking on that I probably shouldn't be if I'm setting the example for my child. So therefore I would have to earn whatever it is I need to earn as well, because remember, gear is gear when you're talking about gaming, right?
But you're right, it does work better in teams, but a lot of parents have been, just, even if they only have one, it works best. You should have 2 more kids. It would be amazing. But people have been using it just with 1 kid and just adapting the rules so that it fits. Yeah.
I also have a niece who is a little more assertive in school and isn't as driven as my child, who needs that one thing to grasp onto to give her direction. So this could work in the competition from the 2. So that's awesome. It's so awesome. Any chat questions, Pixinator?
I'm not seeing any. I'm sorry. I'm literally looking. So this is what I'm doing with my. You can't even see that.
Oh yeah,
Classcraft. Yep. Going through the reviews, looking at it.
I'm gonna use it as an incentive for you girls. Guess who's gonna have Classcraft for the hosts? This one is.
That's right. Yeah. You guys could play Classcraft like every show.
Showing up 5 minutes early.
Yeah. Mommy, please no. Please no.
Show notes. Gear. Yeah, buddy, it's on now. It's gonna take over my life. I'm just gonna apply Classcraft to everything.
Every single aspect.
So do you guys have any swag? Do you have bumper stickers or window clings or anything like that I could put on my car so I could share with my community that this is such an awesome thing? A
we
store?
We have posters and T-shirts. We have a merch store.
Awesome.
If you have an account. And right now it's pretty bare bones, but in September you'll be able to like put your own character on a T-shirt and stuff like that. And then we're gonna do like stickers and decals and stuff. But right now it's been a bit more of like we wanted to like see if people would be into getting merch, and they actually are. I mean, it's surprising because we now have kids paying for clothes of an educational product, right? But because it looks so cool, right? But it's cool because we're at this place where we're actually meeting them emotionally. And they get really engaged. Like they would never, buy T-shirts of a math quiz,
Yeah.
but they do it for Classcraft because
Do you
they're really
guys have any
I would
designs on
just like
going
to say
to?
that I think Classcraft is the new Oregon Trail.
Right?
I'm just throwing that out there.
Are you going to be at any upcoming conventions for the rest of this year for 2015?
Education conventions, unfortunately.
Well, no, not
There's
unfortunately. Throw them out there so we know
all right.
what
There's
those
one
are.
called ISTE, which is humongous, and it's in Philly this year, and it's like 20,000 people or something, and it's basically ed tech and teachers. So and then I gave a talk at South by Southwest a couple weeks ago, um, and actually at the gaming center at South by Southwest. That was pretty cool. There's some nice serendipity there, and then yeah, and then we'll see for the fall. I mean, there's like 2 seasons for education conferences. There's like spring, so I just did like 7, and then there's the fall, which is gonna invitations and stuff start going out during like August. So I'll keep you posted on
Definitely.
for the future. But yeah, I just did a lot in the last 2 months. I've been traveling a lot. We did one in Salt Lake. We won an award from the National School Board Association for innovation.
Congrats.
Thanks. So we went to get the prize. That was in Nashville, and then we also won another. We actually won another award for from EdTech Digest for the coolest educational tool. And we're nominated right now for the Index Design Award, which is the Nobel Prize for Design in Denmark. So keeping our fingers crossed, we'll know it this August if we actually won. But that would be pretty amazing.
Now, is that particular award able to be voted on by the general public, or is that by your peers?
No, it's like there's like a serious like jury and stuff. It's just even amazing to be nominated for that, honestly. But yeah, it's cool because I think that there's different bodies are recognizing that there's this
merit.
thing that 10 years ago would have been unheard of is now like getting mainstream recognition.
That is totally fantastic. Or, as we say here, amazeballs.
Shots.
Shots. All right, guys. So
drink when Carmen
everybody
says
has to drink when I
amazeballs.
say amazeballs.
All right, I forgot my wine downstairs.
We'll wait. So we're going to move on to show topics, hot topics for tonight, unless there's any chat questions. Pixie, you correct me if I'm wrong.
You are not wrong.
All right, so and you guys throw them up in chat if you got them, because we're here to talk about Classcraft and how we all have it on our phone now. I know Paige is going to go get it immediately as soon as we're done.
Oh
If you
yeah,
do that,
mine's downloading.
you have to make an account on the web version. We haven't.
As soon as I get a
Apple
phone.
prevented us from having.
So you'll see an account
iTunes.
named LORT Nation or Ladies of the Round Table. You'll
God.
know it's us.
Amazing.
We'll be in there. I'm pretty excited. My kid has no idea what's in store for her, and I will be taking it to school because I actually coach FLL as well, so that'll be great for my first LEGO League robotics team for incentive for them. So I'm pretty excited to apply it in all kinds of places.
Awesome.
Let's go with Pixie first, because why not?
Okay.
It's Blizzard.
Thanks. There goes the big surprise.
I didn't say anything else. I just said Blizzard. That's all I said.
Okay, so speaking of Blizzard,
Segue.
pop culture is officially heading into WoW. You guys remember Left Shark from the Super Bowl? Guess what? It's apparently slipped into WoW's 6.2.0 patch. Although it's unclear where it's located, you can track down the Left Shark. It's going to be an item. It will allow you to summon the Left Shark as a companion. For those of you who don't remember Left Shark and the Left Shark meme, it was a shark that Katy Perry danced with during the Super Bowl. And unfortunately, this shark was not the best dancer. And that's where it comes from, so that will now be in WoW.
Is there a what I like to call a peanut butter or a GIF of this shark dancing? Because we need to have that so we can see that.
Oh my god. I will find one.
Because That would be amazing if we can see it in the game, or at least facsimile of. Um, I really don't play WoW. Haven't played WoW in a while, but I was very obsessed with collecting the pets and having the achievements. And this would be one that I would have to have. If it took me 6 months, 6 years, I would probably have to go after this thing to get it in my collection. Um, I know that you said, Pixie, that this may draw you back in.
I might play WoW.
Wow, I don't know what to say after you said that.
Nope.
Pixie play something other than Infinite Crisis?
It's Left Shark. What can I say? I like his weird little Macarena thing.
Wow.
That's what it looks like. It looks like the Macarena. It looks like a really bad, fishy version of the Macarena.
Oh my god, I loved the Macarena when I was like 5 years old.
She brought it back, right?
That was my jam.
There's gifts for you guys.
Thank you.
Seen it.
So, Sean, have you or do you play the WoW?
I did. I played like a long time ago though, back when the level cap was 60, and then I blitzed through Burning Crusade when it came out, and I was actually like the third person on my server. I called in sick that whole week, and then I just like blitzed through from 60 to 70. It was really long to level up in those days, and so I was like one of the first people to get to level 70 on my server, and then like I got bored after that because it was really hard to get raids going and stuff, so I kind of moved on. But and it was good for me. I kind of was way too addicted.
So will Left Shark draw you back into the game?
No way. I'm not touching an MMO ever again. I can't. They're bad for me. Yeah.
Are you terrified you're going to be like one of the kids who died in his computer chair?
Yeah, exactly. Like I have to wear diapers and stuff.
So if you're not playing WoW, are you currently playing any browser games or app games, or is there anything that you're playing that you just can't put down?
Yeah, so I just I played Dragon Age Inquisition. Obviously, I have a PS4. Started Bloodborne. I'm a big Dark Souls fan, so I'm really happy with that one, and I'm looking forward to Witcher really badly. So a lot of RPGs, and then on my phone, let's see, I keep cycling on my phone. Right now I'm playing Implosion, which is like a bit of a AAA game that just came out. I'm also doing, I had missed it the first time around, but the Walking Dead game, which is really cool. And I also recently did Dragon Quest V, a bit of a retro RPG there. And I play a lot of games on my phone because I have a 1-year-old. I have Classquest. I still teach. So.
A 1-year-old, and you still find time to do anything else?
Whew. Yeah, I don't sleep much.
Wow. So, Paige, what do you say about the WoW?
I never got into WoW, but I tried. I tried really hard. All of my friends played WoW, and pretty obsessively. And I also know nothing about this pop culture phenomenon, Shark. I didn't.
Nothing?
I didn't.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't
watch. I didn't watch whatever game it was on. And,
well, click the link that Pixie
No,
put
I
in text, you'll be able to see it.
He danced in the Super Bowl and became like a huge internet meme. The fact that you haven't seen Left Shark kind of scares me.
I've never seen it either.
I've seen the gifs, but I didn't know he had a name and everything. I didn't know that he was a meme. I just thought that it was just kind of something that went viral for a minute.
As the kids say, what had happened was at the Super Bowl during Katy Perry's performance, this particular backup dancer in the shark costume was a little laggy and was very slow to get with the rest of the team, and he was dancing 2 steps behind from everyone else, so he became this infamous...
It was like a line of sharks.
Right.
Oh,
right.
okay.
Now you got it. So you're in the know. Chat questions
kind of
coming up.
Shark on the side.
Pixie, throw them out when you got them. Oh, man. The guy whoever it was in this shark costume, I'm surprised they're not going to have their own cartoon or something going on. I mean, it's getting. Do we take everything that just becomes an internet success or goes viral and make it
I
into
don't
a
understand
thing?
why he hasn't been put into a video game where he like runs around and eats little kids.
I mean, I'm sure
Runs
there's a
around, eats
mod
little
for
kids.
it. Did you
Yeah.
ever see the Left 4 Dead mod with Shrek? Did you ever see
No,
Left 4
that's a
Dead?
negative.
Oh my
Shrek
goodness.
is love.
You haven't seen them? I'm sure there's a mod with the shark, or at least in Left 4 Dead where he's eating people. And if there isn't, there will be after this show.
So let's go over to Paige's topic, and that's going to be our last topic for the evenings.
My topic I'm kind of excited about because I plan on getting an Xbox One, and I plan on getting an Xbox One. A huge Gears of War fan.
Sorry.
Well, like, what was that, and what happened?
They're remastering. Right now, it's confirmed that it's the first Gears of War. People have been able to play the multiplayer, Team Deathmatch, King of the Hill, a couple different multiplayer features, but only multiplayer modes. And this is all because Epic Games, sold the rights for Gears of War to what was the name of the company? Black. Right now, we're not sure if it's only going to be Gears of War 1. I hope it's not. People are speculating that maybe they're going to remaster the first one and then just port the second and third, kind of like they do with Halo, and then slowly come back and remaster them. I know that they did motion capture for a new Gears of War that they just finished on recently. So there is a new Gears of War in the mix, if I'm not mistaken, which is exactly what I'm waiting for. I wouldn't buy an Xbox One just for a game I've already played a million times, but I would buy one to play these games again to hold me over until a new Gears of War comes out. I don't know. You guys played Gears of War? Any of you interested in this?
Sean, what about you?
I played all three of them.
Yeah.
I'm
Of course
like
you did.
lukewarm on this. They were, but I'm like lukewarm on remastering. I feel like we have these amazing consoles, and they're not like bringing out enough new games. They're like, oh, Grand Theft Auto 5 came out again.
Well, there is another Gears of War coming out though, which is
I'm excited for that. Yeah.
Which is why I'm not mad.
I don't know. We get those. There's a new this or a this, that, and the other, and then we get disappointed again. We went through this last week. We talked about the letdown. We're waiting for the new stuff. We're waiting for to support the consoles or support whatever it is, and then you get this game and it's half-ass finished. You get the bugs or whatever, and then you're pissed off.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't play Bloodborne until now because they released the patch today that makes loading faster because there's like a 1 minute load every time you died. It's like, how can you even release this? You should be ashamed.
1 minute load? Oh, you talk about the nerd rage.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I want you to sit down and bask in your shame.
Yeah, that's it. That's real punishment.
Just leave your cam on to see how mad you are.
I don't know. I think you guys are getting soft. That's what I think.
That is. Wow, that's a mess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I feel like, I don't know if you guys, one of the first games that came out on next gen consoles was the Assassin's Creed Caribbean version.
Yeah,
yeah, and it's like, this is the same game as Assassin's Creed 1, really, except they put pirate costumes on it.
Right.
And I don't know, I was a bit I feel like
ship.
they're rehashing this. Yeah, you get to like stealth a ship, like that doesn't make sense. But I don't know, I feel like they're rehashing the same games a lot. I'm excited to see like the new stuff coming out. So yeah, I love Gears of War, but I want a new one.
I would be. Again, I'll reserve my judgment because I, as a gamer, I'm just tired of being disappointed in half of everything that comes out, or as a parent have to go buy this $60 or $70 game for my kid because you can't get away from it, and then it's home for a week and then they're mad at it because they beat it in 2 days.
But you know what? Gears of War and Bioshock are the only console games that I do not sell, and I bring with me everywhere. I have all my Gears of War games. They're the only ones on my shelf
you
that
bring
I keep.
them everywhere?
You're
Like,
telling
I
me
won't
somebody
sell
who
them.
has Bioshock tattoos, like, yes!
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
you just lit Pixie up.
It's the god of God.
Sorry about your raid
Bioshock.
holes, guys. Pixie's excited.
Bioshock is my favorite series, and
It's
deservingly.
do you want
It's
do you want a
fantastic.
primer? Where we hired a video game writer to help us flesh out the Classcraft narrative in the world. We're building out a story mode for next year, and the person we hired is the person who wrote Bioshock and Far Cry.
That person we need a connection with to be on the show. Just saying,
Who did you
Sean.
Her name is Susan O'Connor, huh?
Please, we
Susan
would love to have
O'Connor,
her.
No, I will have Susan O'Connor's babies. Just putting that out there.
We would love
She
to
has
talk to
cats.
Susan about her career.
You should.
Yeah.
You look her up.
Do it.
She's
Intro.
she's a girl gamer, and she wrote all she does scripts for video games. I think she wrote the last Tomb Raider also.
So a little
Really?
intro email doesn't hurt.
No,
Yes.
I will. You ping me again. I'll find it. I think Devin
sure,
has it.
for sure.
My co-founder. Yeah. But yeah, Bioshock is amazing.
That's really exciting. Congratulations on that nab.
We
Hey.
are.
Exciting.
I'm glad that I came across Classcraft. I was actually introduced to you by someone else in the industry that was saying, hey, this is something you guys really need to look at. It's right in your wheelhouse with us talking about STEM and being involved in scholarships for STEM education for kids. And I have to say that we at the table were not disappointed. We're all excited about the product. And we, everyone but Paige, but I'm sure she's going to get it, have it downloaded on our phone. And you have now created new patrons for your
Amazing.
for your software.
Thanks for inviting me. It was a real honor. I think that, one of the questions I get a lot, I actually got a standing ovation. We gave a talk in New York at the New York Tech Meetup in December. And one of the questions from the crowd was, oh, are girls into Classcraft? And, do they feel ostracized? Yeah. And then I was like, well, actually, there's the stats show that there's more girl gamers than there are guys now. In the U.S. and then the whole room flipped out, and I think it's cool that what you guys are doing to just bring that out. I have so many, I do as a teacher, I do a manga club, and we watch mangas after school, watch anime and read mangas after school, and most of the people in there are girls, and it's there's such this idea that video games and all that culture is for guys, but really there's a really strong girl culture. So anyways, I'm really happy with what you guys are doing. It's awesome.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that vote of
member.
confidence.
Mm-hmm.
I was a founding
Mutual
member
votes of
my
confidence.
I was a founding member of my high school's comic book club. And there weren't a lot of girls back then, but there's definitely a huge surge of it now. Definitely, and especially in the younger age groups. Not in my age group, there weren't as many girls that were at least openly playing games or into comics. But my sister was really into games. My sister's about 5 years younger than me, so she's around the age of the kids that are 20 now, 21 now. And I'm noticing that a lot of girls really came into that in a way that I hadn't seen when I was younger. It's really exciting. I think that's really cool. And definitely.
All right, guys. So we are definitely out of time.
Amazing.
Unfortunately, Sean has to get to going, so we're gonna go to our tie-up, the end of our show, and go to our shout-outs. Sean, before you run out the door, we're gonna do our shout-outs for the evening, close this show. These shout-outs are basically what I said, shout-outs. We're gonna ask you to give a shout-out to anyone, past, present, or future tense that you may want to work with or you appreciate and got you to where you are, including your class. Your mom, whatever. So go ahead, Sean. Give your shout outs.
I just want to thank my co-founder, Devin, who's actually my brother. He's been really instrumental in bringing this out, and he couldn't be here tonight, but it's been really good working with him.
Just one person?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you guys, but I said that.
How about your wife?
Sure, she's been really instrumental. Also, that is true. I don't. That's a really good point. I wouldn't be here without her. So, yeah, Julie, thank you.
All right, I'm gonna go over to Pixinator. Go throw your shout outs out, girlfriend.
So really, shout outs to Blizzard and WoW for putting in Left Shark. Shout outs to Phoenix Covenant. They're awesome. Shout outs to Cards and Castles. They're awesome too. And shout outs to, once again, Blizzard for me playing HOTS and getting to ride around on a rainbow unicorn that poops rainbows and sparkles.
Man, I haven't got that one yet. But hey, Paige, your shout outs.
Another Castle and Gaming Rebellion. You guys know the drill. I love those guys. And let's give one to Arcade Android.
Arcade Android, that's right. My shout outs go to you ladies for coming and joining me this week, and producer Ian, of course, and Sean for you, my friend, who is about to change my daughter's 7th grade class experience.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
We appreciate you, and you're welcome back anytime. And producer Ian, roll those credits. Ladies and gentlemen, dance it out. Throw that music up, glow sticks in the air, whatever you got. That's the door. Go ahead, Sean, raise the roof. Work it out. Oh, that was hilarious. All right, so much fun to be had. We don't even know what to do with ourselves.
I do.
You do?
Yeah. Now time, because it's Friday night. I get to go watch Grimm. Oh,
Grimm. Yeah.
I don't know why, but I love Grimm.
I have some creepy questions in my Ask FM.
Ian.
Are we off yet?
No,
Holy
we're
crap.
not. We're not.
Oh my God.
We're just, hey, behind the scenes, work it out, ladies. So I watched Grey's Anatomy today. OMGs.
What?
Did you cry?
No, I cried, right? But like it made me really mad because while they did so well with what they did, I was really mad that they didn't just put him in the accident to begin with.
Yeah, they drew it out.
Yeah, like
so
they
we
drew
are
it
live.
out and made it way
I
back.
don't know, went to the bathroom or something, but hey, we're talking.
Ian taking a poop. Taking a poop.
But yeah, I was very, very happy. Ugly crying, yes, that's what happened.
Ugly crying, yeah. Oh my God! So before I watch, here's what happened, right? Before I watched Grey's Anatomy.
Hey, spoiler alert! If you haven't watched it, we'll try not to ruin it for you, but get a box of tissues.
Yeah, like before I watched Grey's Anatomy, I rewatched The Fault in Our Stars.
Oh man!
And then I watched Atonement. And then I watched Grey's Anatomy. Like I went full on cry fest. I mean, we're talking like
imbalanced.
We're talking like literal like you ain't seen ugly cry face till you've seen me go through.
Like the Lion King all over again. You just
like
a mess.
Yeah, I mean like Mufasa died. What?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about, man. So, Paige, what is a movie that made you cry, like ugly cry face? Name one.
Oh my God, Rugrats. No. Have you ever seen Kingdom of Heaven? Okay, that's like my favorite movie. That's one that like I don't know why it really moved me. Like it's a historical kind of feeling film, but it moved me very deeply. It was fantastic. The characters were incredible.
See, Pay It Forward is my like motivational movie. I don't know what it is about Kevin Spacey and that little boy, but like it tugs on your heartstrings, and I'm like, oh my God, I wish I was a better person.
Have you seen the movie When a Man Loves a Woman? That's an old movie, but it's pretty emotional roller coaster in that one. The kids that act in that movie, man, they're just every time. What about Patch Adams? Come on, now that's an awesome
oh my God, Patch Adams is so good.
I don't remember Patch Adams. I was like,
you have to rewatch it.
I was so tiny when I watched Patch Adams. I watch a lot of Robin Williams films too, but I haven't watched Patch Adams again.
Honestly, I was really amazed at how good Robin Williams was in August Rush. Because Robin Williams has been kind of like, I mean, like 1 Hour Photo, he was kind of creepy and weird, but he wasn't really a villain. But he was like a hardcore villain in August Rush, and I was like, "Whoa, Robin Williams!
Yeah.
What
Hey,
happened to my
Oh my
genie,
God.
bro?"
Goodwill
What's going on
Hunting
in the
gets
chat?
me to cry. That's a
Goodwill
movie that
Hunting.
gets me to cry.
Chat, what about you guys? Chat, throw up your ugly cry face movies.
Yeah, what are your ugly cry face movies?
Zach,
Page
what
6
movies
gotta
make
tweet
me
that
have an
out. Ugly cry face movies.
I cry at everything though. Zach always makes fun of me for it.
Oh, I'm such a baby when it comes to sad stuff.
Pixie.
Yeah.
Let's see. We'll get to know the
Oh my God.
hosts. What?
My God. Okay, so have you seen the movie The Babadook? If you guys have not seen the movie The Babadook, like, watch this movie now. It is horrifying.
Oh, I don't know if I want to be horrified.
Like,
Okay.
it is not at all gory or anything, but it is terrifying.
Throw up the link in chat because we're about to cut the stream here shortly, unless you have something else that you. Beaches. Oh my God, that's true. Ugly cry face.
And what's so good about it is, like, when can you think of a movie that has gotten a 98% as a horror movie on Rotten Tomatoes in the recent history?
You know what? You know what makes you cry?
What?
Toy Story 3. If you haven't tried Toy Story 3, you need to get out of our chat and not come back because you don't have a heart.
No, you really don't. Like, you're an inhuman. You're like an inhuman robot.
Yeah, you need to leave.
Oh my God.
Now.
So, Paige, I deem you the person to find the best meme for ugly cry face #movies so that we can get.
Oh my God, I have so many crying memes
on our Twitter. So tag me because I want to see what the fans say about ugly cry face to win. That's awesome.
I could try to get something going there.
Oh, that's gonna be so great. Or we should all make ugly cry face at the camera, and you could take a screenshot.
Okay, so Arcade Android is never allowed to hold the MVP belt again because he fell asleep during Toy Story 3.
Oh,
I fell asleep during Watchmen and Inception.
I could not put anybody to sleep.
I could not make it through The Departed. I tried watching that movie like 5 times, and I have never been able to make it through. I just cannot not fall asleep to it.
Sleep in the first set in the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock movie.
Damn.
At the Sherlock
theater? Mover.
Yeah,
at the theater?
In the theater.
It'd be so loud. How can you fall asleep?
Theater put me to sleep, man. You know what? You know what was a loud movie? Man of Steel. Oh my God, that movie was loud.
You want to know what was loud? I went to the IMAX to see the second Transformers, and I had a migraine. I had to get up and leave. I was like, could I just...
Well, I mean, that's because you paid for Transformers.
I went to go see...
I cried.
It was
bad.
Well, it was the last, like, it might have been AVP, but I want to say it was, like, the last Predator movie that ever came out recently. I went to go see that in the movie theaters, and I shit you not, the last 30 minutes of it, all you hear is loud screeching, and the screen is just, like, jumping. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna go deaf right now! And, like, I'm a loud person. I scream a lot, so, like, if I think I'm gonna go deaf, like, imagine how you would feel.
So, you guys, before we shut the stream down... you guys who've stayed in chat with us for this last 10-15 minutes, I'm going to give you each a chance to throw up one random question for each of the hosts, and we're going to pick one and we're going to answer it. So throw them up right now if you got a question. I'm going to let Pixie and Paige pick the question that they're going to answer, just one, and then we're going to cut the stream. So if you got a question that you've been dying to ask and we have not answered it, now is the time.
And now would be the time.
You may have to do this after the show next week too.
While we wait for this,
you got a few more minutes.
Who would your superhero baby?
I thought you just asked her who do you want to have babies with to make superhero babies.
I mean that's kind of what she's saying.
Yeah. That's a combo question because first of all, who would your superhero baby, and then if you had the baby, what would the superpower be? Because it's combined with yours and his
It
or
would be
hers.
it would be V, and he would wield knives. My superpowered child. He would wield knives in a way that kills everybody, even though they have guns.
Even
No,
though they
like,
have guns.
no, I have seriously, and I love the movie so much more than the comic. But like V for Vendetta is my movie that I watch when I'm sick, when I'm sad, when I'm bored. I watch that movie. I have the cover framed in my room. Like I love that movie. So I love the Wachowskis in general, but I love that movie so much. If we're talking about
up there.
if we're talking about like superheroes though, man, it'd probably be one of the Green Lanterns.
One of the Green Lanterns, but not.
I mean, I'll take them all. I'll take all the humanoid ones. What about you, Pixie?
Probably Thor.
I was gonna say after last week, she's got that Thor heart on.
After that bathing scene, I don't know. It might be with you there.
Yo, it's Thor, alright? He has a giant hammer, he beats people in the
the
face,
puns.
he's honorable, and like...
Giant hammer,
I don't
Yeah,
know.
look, I'm just saying, I would definitely get nailed by him.
Arcade Android. There's questions going up, so I'm gonna let Paige pick hers first because there's a couple of them going up.
Oh, there's a few of them. Mm-hmm. Oh man, I'm only seeing one. Oh, so Pixie, you got one from RK wants to know, how did we all find each other? I found Carmen. Well, Carmen found me. Carmen found me through Paige Belmont. If you guys are familiar, she was one of the ladies of the round table long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. And
if they only knew the two things together, that's a personal funny.
And if you know Paige Belmont, you know that is as true as it could be.
Right.
And me and her were going to initially have a LORT radio show together called Paige Power Hour, because we would hashtag everything Paige Power. And I met Paige because I was flipping through Twitter looking for new people, and I saw that she had the same name as me, and I started talking to her because of it. And I was like, hey, nice name, and now we're really good friends. And that's how, through, 2 degrees of separation, I ended up on Ladies of the Round Table. What about you, Pixie? How did you get hooked up with Carmen?
So I actually streamed with another stream team for a while. And I was recommended by somebody else to Carmen. And
that somebody else would be producer man Ian.
Yes, it would be producer man Ian. I don't want to name drop though.
Hey, we can name drop producer man Ian
name drop
because Ian hardly ever talks and gets recognition, and he's back there slaving away. But we'll throw him out there.
He's very important to us.
Producer Ian said to me, "I got this chick. She's pretty badass. She happens to be in the same building we are because we were at PAX East, that is. And you've got to talk to her. You've just got to talk to her." And I had not seen or heard Pixie other than from what Ian said to me. Now, I had seen some streams, but, not a lot because I didn't watch that particular channel. So, Pixie picks it up from here.
So, I get a tweet while I'm at PAX. And by the way, PAX, you really have to work on your cell phone reception because it is god-awful. And that Wi-Fi is bad. And by Wi-Fi, I mean Wi-Fi, but it's Wi-Fi for me. So I'm looking on Twitter and I'm trying to figure out where to meet up. And then this is all going through Ian, of course. And I'm getting these part and parcel tweet inbox
We're playing the
messages.
telephone game inside of PAX with our cell phones, trying to find each other.
Yep.
Yeah,
and
cell
so
signal.
finally we meet up, and Carmen's got this giant bag of swag.
I'm talking about.
It's probably 50 pounds.
It was like a dead person. I not only had swag, but I had computer pieces parts in my bag because I was doing the LORT haul. I was like, I need giveaways. And they were like, we shall bestow stuff upon you. Here, take it. And I go, how am I going to get this on the plane? What am I going to do with this stuff? But it was hilarious. So we were lounging out. We were just like, yo, we got this. Pixie with the little ears.
Yep, because I wore my ears to PAX. Totally did.
While Ian was working. Ian was on boots on the ground, taking the LORT business cards, doing his thing. He was making the rounds, going to the different panels. We were all working that particular convention. And Ian, those are some fond memories for me, my friend. I won't say any more other than it was awesome sauce.
Yeah, that and the PAX parties and
Yeah, the PAX parties, we had a good time.
and hopefully I hope to get back to East next year. So
Well, Dragon Con's coming up, am I correct?
yeah, but right now it's kind of lonely. So I mean, I want other people to go with me if I go.
You know who's
so.
going?
I'm just saying, me and Nikki and Kim are all going because we're trying to get a panel.
So you're all going to Dragon Con?
Yeah.
Confirmed you're going, definitely?
Yeah, like,
okay.
Kim's gonna come and stay with me.
LORT panel for reals, yo.
Alright, so...
Yeah, that's what we're working on.
So I have a reason to go down there and not just play games by myself.
Definitely, definitely.
I mean, don't get me wrong, you can always play with yourself, just don't do it in public.
I say games, not playing with myself.
That's so funny.
I take that seriously, it's not a game.
So guys, we appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out with us. And if you like the after show, the aftermath is what we're going to call it from now on. The LORT aftermath, because it gets a little rowdy up in here. We could do this from time to time. Next week, we do not have a guest. We're hoping that all of the hosts will be back, and that means everybody. So we can round up the usual suspects and have a show with just us ladies. May 8th, which is the following week, we have David Eddings at the table. So be sure to tell your friends, share it on the Twitter, and come click the like button and whatever that button is down there. Follow, I'm sorry. So that you can stay tuned, because I don't know what kind of giveaways David's bringing. There may be some really good stuff. Sure, Ian, go ahead. It's true. Everybody might not know who he is, but... if you don't, then maybe you shouldn't be watching this show.
Everyone can't know everything. I mean, seriously. I mean,
yo,
especially when it comes to voice actors.
Yo, I know everything. Who you calling ignorant?
David Eddings. Although the man with the same name is not the author, because sadly he's dead. But this David Eddings is the good old voice of Claptrap.
Claptrap from Borderlands series. I see you, page 6. Don't forget to send me an email, and Ian, you might want to write that down because I will totally forget.
Okay.
And
I'll throw it in the calendar.
yeah, there's some stuff coming up that I'll be out of town too, but it's I think later. And I think that's it, unless some more questions are going to chat, which I don't see anything. I'd like to
stuff, but nothing hard hitting.
I'd like to say, Mal, Pixie's duo partner. I know you didn't get your shout out, but I'm about to give it to you. Because
he's not even here.
Oh damn it! I was gonna say, what would the end of the show be without that shout out to Mal?
Oh wait, I lied. I'm the worst. Oh man. I'm the worst.
You are the worst. Mal,
looks like I'm gonna be solo queuing for a while.
He's like no longer your duo partner. That's right. That's so sad. All right, so everybody who's here, thank you so much for joining us, and we are very happy that you'll be back next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. The website, lortnation.com, will be changing once again. We're going to revamp that website, change some things around to reflect the charity and the organization and what we're doing. So if you go out there and you see that it's a work in progress, don't be alarmed. I'm in the background, typity-tickety-doo, doing my thing back there. So bear with me, because I am not a website designer, but I try. All right, ladies. That's it for tonight. Thanks for joining.
Bye, guys.
Pixie, hopefully you get your sleep schedule straightened out. Doodaloo, doodaloo, doodaloo. Yes. Doodaloo, doodaloo, doodaloo. Bye, Paige. Night.
This is the end of the stream. This is no longer the stream we were looking for. Ooh, spooky for you.
Spooky for you.
I don't even know what I'm doing. Alright.
She's imbalanced.